Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good morning everyone. We are from group 6 of Foundation of Functional Grammar, class D. We are going to explain about theme and rhyme. But before we start our explanation about theme and rhyme, let me introduce the members of the group 6. There are Agnia Siva Mulyani as the presenter, Istinganatun Nidaul Husna as the presenter, Dwi Lingga Putra Kurnia as the presenter, Nahal Hadid as the presenter, and me, Nidaan Fitria Ramadhani, as the presenter and also as the moderator for this group. So, let's begin by Agnia Siva Mulyani.
Hello, my name is Agnieszka Mulyani. My student's number is 202-122-127. Here I would like to explain about them and we. In an English clause, there are 2 points of prominence, the beginning and the end. The beginning of the clause is where we put information which links to the clause to what has come before. Look at the following example from the Bruce Springsteen song, The River. I come from down in the valley. Here we find I at the beginning tell us that the clause is about me, the singer. This is the theme of the clause, and this is the case it relates to the text to its context. And in English, the theme can be identified as the or those elements which comes first in the clause. This represents the point of departure of this message from the previous ones. The rest of the clause is called the rheme. New information is typically contained in the rheme. Rheme is broadly speaking what the clause is going to be about. Or in the terms of rheme and rheme, rheme represents this is what I'm talking about, and the rheme is this is what I'm saying about it. In terms of looking at the clause as a message, the theme looks backwards, relating the current message to what has come before. The rheme points both backwards and forwards by picking up the information which already available and adding to it by presenting information which was not there before. The interactions of theme and rheme governs how the information in a text develops. All right, the types of theme. There are 3 types of theme. The first is ideational. The ideational or topical theme is usually, but not always, the first nominal group in the clause. Topical themes may also nominal group complexes, adverbial groups, prepositional phrases, or embedded clause. In the unmarked case, the topical theme is also the subject. A topical theme which is not the subject is called a marked topical theme. Let's see the example. Here we have unmarked topical themes and marked topical themes. Let's see the unmarked topical themes. We have 3 points here. They are nominal group as themes, nominal groups complex as theme, and embedded clause. Nominal group as theme. Jack went up the hill. Jack is the theme. Went up the hill is the rheme. Let's see the second one. Nominal group complex as theme. Jack and Jill went up the hill. Jack and Jill is the theme. Went up the hill is the rheme. Let's see the last one. Embedded clause. What Jack and Jill did was go up the hill. What Jack and Jill did is the theme, and was go up the hill is the rheme. Let's see the marked topical themes. It is same. It have 3 points here. Adverbial as theme, prepositional phrases as a theme, and complement as theme. Adverbial as theme. Down Jack fell. Down is the theme. Jack fell is the rheme. All right, let's see the second one. Prepositional phrases as the. Up the hill, Jack and Jill went. Up the hill is the theme, and Jack and Jill is the rhyme. Let's see the last one. Compliment as the. His crown he broke. His crown is the theme, and he broke is the rhyme.
Hello, my name is Nida Anfitra Ramadhani, and today I'd like to explain about types of theme. And the second types of themes, there is textual themes. Textual themes relate the clause to its context. They can be continuatives and or conjunctive adjuncts and conjunctions. The line between conjunction and conjunctive adjuncts is often a fine one. One difference is that conjunctive adjuncts are more free to move in a clause, whereas conjunctions are pretty well restricted to being at the beginning. Thus, in the example below, the conjunction but remains at the beginning at the second clause in each pair. Conjunctions tend to provide textual themes within a clause complex and are called structural themes. Conjunctive adjuncts, on the other hand, tend to join text outside of a clause complexes. They tend to have more of a text organizing function. Continuatives are a small set of items which, if they are there, are always at the beginning of the clause and signal that a new move is beginning. And for the example, write what we need to do today is revise for our text. Write as continuative, what we need to do today as topical, and write what we need to do today is theme, and is revised for our text is rhyme. These relate to the context of speaking in that they signal to the listeners that someone is about to start, resume, or continue speaking. Conjunctives relate the clause to preceding text by providing a logical link between the messages. And the example, well, on the other hand, we could wait, well as continuative, on the other hand as conjunctive, and we as topical. And this is theme, and could wait is rhyme. Like with conjunction almost always occur at the beginning of a clause and carry the logical semantics relations between clauses. For example, well, on the other hand, if we wait until Tuesday, well as continuative, on the other hand as conjunctive, and if as structural themes, and we as topical, and this is theme, and wait until Tuesday is rhyme. And the third types of theme is interpersonal themes. Interpersonal elements occurring before the topical theme are also thematic. They may be modal adjuncts, vocatives, finite, or WH elements. For the example from modal adjunct is perhaps we can wait until next week. Perhaps as modal and also interpersonal, and we as topical, and this is theme. And can wait until next week is rhyme. And for the vocatives, vocatives or a name or a nickname used to address someone are only thematic if they occur before the topical theme, a finite verb, or a modal adjunct. For example, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Dearly beloved as vocative, we as topical, and this is rhyme. And are gathered here today is rhyme. And the other example is Mary, we decided to wait until next week. Mary as vocative, we as topical, and this is theme. And decided to wait until next week is rhyme. In the clause below, the person's name is not used as a vocative, therefore it is topical and not interpersonal. For the example, Mary decided to wait until next week. Mary is topical and Mary is theme, and decided to wait until next week is rhyme. And the other example is anyway, Mary, we decided to wait until next week. Anyway as continuative and also as textual, and Mary as vocative and also as interpersonal, and we as topical. Anyway, Mary we is theme, and decided to wait until next week is Rheme. And the maximum possible theme in the clause would be something like, well, but alternatively, Mary surely wouldn't the best thing to be wait. Wait as continuative, but as structural, alternatively as conjunction, and well, but alternatively as textual, and Mary as vocative, surely as modal, and wouldn't as finite, and Mary surely wouldn't as interpersonal, and the best thing as topical. And we can see, well, but alternatively, Mary surely wouldn't the best thing is theme, and be two way.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Isingatun Lusna, NPM 2021-22-141. Clause as a theme in a clause complex in a hypothetical clause complex. If the dependent clause comes first, then the dependent clause is treated as the theme for the whole clause complex. Each clause also has its own theme or rhyme structure. If the dependent clause comes first, it can be theme. Then it is the theme for the whole clause complex. It can be rhyme. If as ever, the dependent clause as a topical comes first is a rhyme, and if the dependent clause it can be theme, and if the dependent clause comes first it can be rhyme. Thematic, accusative. These occur in certain identifying clauses where the theme and rhyme are acquainted with each other. They almost always involve nominalization, what we want to do as a theme and was wait until next week as a rhyme. Predicate themes. There are take from it plus be plus blah blah blah. It as a theme with the lecture as a rhyme, who as a theme made the dictation as a rhyme, it was the lecture can be a theme, and who made the dictation can be rhyme. Theme and mood. So far, most of the example discussion have been clauses which have declarative mood. We also need to consider theme in interrogative, imperative, and exclamative. Theme in interrogative, polar. Here the finite precedes the subject and is thus thematic if the subject is also topical theme. That as finite, we as a subject and decided to wait as a rhyme, but it was can be theme in an example like on Saturday as topical or a theme, and will you be going as a rhyme on Saturday is a marked topical theme. The finite come after, so it is not thematic. In the case of UH interrogative, the UH element alone is thematic. What time is a theme and is the exams rhyme? Would theme and are you trying to kind as a rhyme?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Nahal. My student's number is 2021222158, and in this occasion I will continue the rest explanation of theme and mood. And let's continue with theme and imperatives. I'm quite sure that you have heard about imperatives, but just in case you don't remember it, I will explain it in a brief way. So, imperative is one of several sentence types that used to give commands, instruction, warning, advice, and request, and the sentence usually ended by exclamation mark. And theme imperatives is really unique. There are two ways of treating theme in imperative clauses, either as rhyme only or treat the process as theme. You can see in the sentence, write your name in the upper right hand corner. On the left is identified as rhyme only, but in the right side, the word write is considered as theme. And we can see the rationale for treating the process as theme. And if you look at a text that is oriented towards doing, such as a set of instructions like the example below. Number 1. Plug the flash into 240 volt AC outlet. Another example, switch the power on, or push the button on the control panel. And here the focus is on the doing, not on who is doing it. So we could argue that the process is thematic. This is the preferred option in this book. Next, let's move to theme in exclamative. Exclamative is another type of sentence that expresses enthusiasm, happiness, or admiration or amazement. And this consists of WH elements plus either a nominal group or an adverbial group. And you can see the example below like, what a beautiful day it is. The theme is what a beautiful day and the rhyme is it is. And the second example is how divinely he dances. The how divinely is considered as theme and he dances as rhyme.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dulinga Putra Kurnia. My student's number is 2021222156. And in this change, I will present about theme components and theme and new information. Let's start with theme components. So the meta function of theme and rhyme is divided into three. Number one is textual. Textual is consists of continuative like well, okay, then structural and conjunctive. Next meta function is interpersonal, that consists of modal, finite, and WH interrogatives. And then the third meta function is ideational, which consists of topical. And next is theme and text. We have already suggested that dependent clauses which preceded the independent clause they modify are considered thematic in the clause complex. Another extension of the principle of theme is to the topic sentence of a paragraph. We could look at the topic sentence as the theme of the paragraph, or we could extend it further by regarding the introductory paragraph of an expository essay as the theme for the rest of an essay. What we find here is the same pattern repeat on different scales, but the proportional relationship hold. And the last is theme and new information. Another important aspect of how text develop is through the interaction of theme and new information. Once information has been presented in a text is then available to be developed. Information can either be picked up as theme or it can be accumulated as new. This is illustrated with a short text. The example is taken from a song Finishing Touch by Warren Zevon. In this text, the participants are introduced in the first line, the singer as theme and the address as new. In the second line, the positions are reversed, the address as theme and the singer as new. The final line summarizes all information in the previous two lines.
Hi again everyone. In this time, I will try to show you the example how we analyze a sentence. I know that previously all the materials mentioned is provided by the examples, but right now I will give the examples based on sentences that I created by myself. The first example is a sentence that divided into two themes and two rhymes. The first is, if there was an regulation where if is identified as structural. Why structural? If you have read the PDF books that were written by Garrett and Wignall, you will understand that conjunctions are seen as structural, and surely which is included in textual themes. And there is identified as topical, and both of them are theme. Then was an regulation as the rhyme. And the next example is an imperative sentence. The reason why I chose it is because, once again, imperative sentence is unique. We could see it as a rhyme only, or the process word as a theme, and you can see examples below. The third example is, because otherwise you will get cold. I choose this sentence because I want to remind you that it is impossible for two structurals in a sentence, because and otherwise are identified as structural, they included in textual, you as topical, and of course they seen as a thing. The last example is they will get cold. Are you wondering why they is identified as only theme and not as topical? It is because they is not preceded by anything like conjunction, modal, and vocative. And that was the end of my explanation. I'm sorry if there was any mistakes. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, everyone, that's all from our presentation for today. And thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.